Okay, this is my text adventure. Let's see it load. It works best in full screen because some of the graphics get sized down, and the outlines, the line drawing was not thick enough for them. Some of it was thrown together at the last minute, so some of the graphics are a little sketch. The text isn't positioned quite how I'd like it, but let's run it and see what it looks like when it finally loads. Ignore me. Ignore me. Okay, I was not anticipating it taking this long. This is boring. Okay, so this is the title screen, and you hear there's some title music. I drew this. I sort of skewed this part a little bit with what's the program? Imaging editing software that is not Photoshop or GIMP. These are multiple layers over here. I wanted to do something with the start button, but I just didn't have time, so I waited too long. This canned is not hand-drawn, but an actual font, as you will see. This can here looked better hand-drawn than it does on the screen. Your inventory is here, but you don't have anything in it. Would have been helpful to have a box or something, but I just didn't have one. Text at the top of the screen is here. Your options go here, and it starts out. You can read that. I'll give you a second. Now, so this isn't too obtuse like old school text adventures often were. I put all caps as clues. For instance, this is your objective without, screaming at you or putting an objective marker. You want alcohol and or food, which is why it's in caps. So we're going to begrudgingly get up. And this is really where it first starts. The game opens up. Part of the assignment was that you were supposed to be able to backtrack through at least a few different scenes. You can actually backtrack and go back and forth through most scenes. For instance, there's a little bit of narration here. And so, like, it says time to check what the stock of the liquor looks like. That's a little hint that maybe we should check the kitchen first. And in the kitchen, we find our first item, the can opener. Press C to get it, and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so we get our can opener, and there a hand-drawn can opener pops up. Now, we go back to the main room, and the text has changed because I changed the way scenes function. I changed the way that those assets function so that they have an initial text and a subsequent text. So first we set the scene, say what's going on, and then we have a more brief text which, basically identifies the place, tells you what's going on in more brief. I used scenes a little differently. Scenes aren't necessarily places, like in the introduction. It was just exposition. Those are still technically scenes. I'm sorry, when I say scenes, I mean states. States, rather. Scenes is an entirely different thing in Unity. I also used states For the items, you can click the items like the can opener, and takes you to a state where it tells you about the item. Sometimes it's different in the context of if you click on the item, it'll take you to a different state depending on what state you're in, location-wise. Let's see, we can continue, and where continue takes you is context sensitive. So we're in the main room. We click on the can opener. Oh, subsequent text of the state. When we go back, we're still in the main room. It takes us to whatever state we were at previously, which is context sensitive. Let's see. Now things really expand when you go outside. You can see there are a lot of different locations. You see another highlighted word, knife. The can opener, we need to open it, the packaging. As was previously mentioned, we needed scissors or a knife. So this is a little red herring right here. You know, you can ask the kid for a knife, and he responds as such. Now, we know that Phyllis from the previous text is a busybody. She's watching disapprovingly. So, if we ask the kid for a knife, and we say something stupid like option number 3, what happens is something that's not entirely unpredictable. I wanted to signpost it a little bit. Phyllis is a busybody. She sees you ask kids for a knife and then threaten to arrest them. What happens isn't, it's not rocket surgery. Things go poorly. And that kicks us back to the main menu by pressing M because we have lost the game. Here's an example of an item with different context-sensitive stuff going on. You see how it has this little hot pink background. It sort of looks like it's got an aura or it's glowing or something. When we click on it, something happens that wouldn't otherwise happen. You see, this could only happen at the cafe, the specific location we are at, if you have the specific item when you click the item. And it tries to call attention to the fact that you can click it by sort of highlighting it with that pink effect over here. It's kind of trying to signpost that without, like, explicitly yelling in your face, click this here. It's just, sort of supposed to be intuitive. I don't know. I feel like the more you can read off a screen without actually literally reading, the better. Except for, the stuff up here that is more narrative in nature, more story-centric. The instructional stuff should be kept to a minimum. And game mechanics should be intuitive, but that's just me. One of the things that I regret is that I did not have a sign saying how much it cost to rent office time, as it were. I said, the scissors, have them highlighted. You know that, scissors are at this location. maybe those are going to help out in the can opener, but I didn't really tell you how much money you needed. I mean, money is a thing over here, so, you know, the player should be able to put 2 and 2 together, but I should have said something. If we go back to the apartment building, go inside, go back to the apartment, go to the kitchen, actually get the can opener, and then go to the copy shop, and then click the can opener. It does have a context-sensitive thing, letting you know that you can't use the scissors, in fact. You have to pay this, but I feel like this should have been accessible. This state should have been accessible a different way, and maybe the state you get when you click on the can opener without adequate money should have been something else, like the shop clerk saying something, like possibly this. But yeah, once you have $7.99 or more, 5 for the security deposit, $2.99 for the fee, you can in fact come and open the can opener with the can scissors, and it has like a little star burst behind it, context menu clue thing, whatever you want to call it. And that's the game.